Welcome to the Surge Chips Explained video series. Today, we're going to be talking about how regions can leverage programs like the NSF Regional Innovation Engines and the EDA Tech Hubs to build their regional innovation economies. First, let's talk a little bit about these two programs. Both of these programs were created by the CHIPS and Science Act of 2022. The NSF Engines program was announced in May of last year, and the EDA Tech Hubs program was announced in May of this year. They have similar program structure and very similar solicitation language. You can tell that they were designed to complement each other and grow regional innovation economies throughout the United States. How do we know that they were designed to complement each other? That Tech Hubs is one of several other programs that are making place-based investments to strengthen the U.S. supply chain and expand economic opportunity. They also say in the solicitation that the Tech Hubs program is complementary to the NSF Regional Innovation Engines. The solicitation also says that applicants to the Tech Hubs need to identify other relevant state or local programs and investments from federal agencies like the NSF Regional Innovation Engines or other programs from the Department of Energy, the USDA, or the National Institute of Standards and Technology. The point of this paragraph in the solicitation is to encourage applicants to demonstrate that they will leverage multiple investment programs to amplify their impact. Now let's take a look at the program structure. For the NSF engines, they offered a Type 1 Development Award or a Type 2 Implementation Award. They initially intended to award up to 50 Type 1 Development Awards for up to $1 million each and up to 2 years in duration. For the Type 2 Implementation Awards, those are up to $160 million each and up to 10 years in duration, and they plan to make up to 5 total awards. For the NSF Engines program, the Type 1 award is not required to participate in Type 2. Now, the awards have already been announced, and they only ended up funding 44 of the Type 1 Development Awards, and they have just announced 34 semifinalists for the Type 2 Implementation Awards. Now let's look at the Tech Hubs. Phase 1 is only for Tech Hub designation. You don't get any funding, but you can request an optional strategy development grant for up to $500,000. They plan to make at least 20 of these designation awards. For Phase 2, they anticipate that you will receive up to $75 million each if you got your designation, and these are going to be probably about 10 years long. For the EDA Tech Hubs, you do have to have the Phase 1 designation to participate in Phase 2. Now let's compare some elements across these two programs. The NSF Regional Innovation Engines allowed proposers to choose their technology or domain focus area, and the solicitation was very agnostic and allowed the region to make the decision. For the Tech Hubs, proposers have to choose one or more from a list of 10 key technology focus areas that are provided in the solicitation. The NSF Regional Innovation Engines program suggested that proposals should represent stakeholders from academia, government, nonprofits, and industry, while the Tech Hubs program requires involvement from academia, government, a workforce development organization, economic development organization, and industry. Finally, for the project leadership, the Engines requires a full-time CEO to be named, and the Tech Hubs requires the designation or appointment of a regional innovation officer. A great way to see how these two programs might work well together is to look at the technology readiness levels and the language from both of the program solicitations. So if we look at our technology readiness level ladder from 1 to 9, it starts with basic research at level 1, moving up through stages including applied research or use-inspired research, developing proof of concepts, early prototypes, and prototype validation. Then you move up to system-level validation and technology proven in an operational environment, finally resulting in your commercially available product. The NSF Regional Innovation Engines really focuses on technology readiness levels 2 through 5. So again, this is applied research up through prototype validation. How do we know? Let's take a look at some of the solicitation language. All throughout this document are terms like use-inspired research and development, increasing industrial and commercial investment in R&D, the creation of startup ventures, products, and other innovative business models, accelerating advances in emerging technologies, disruptive R&D, and prototyping and piloting research-based solutions. The Tech Hubs program is focused on technology readiness levels 6 through 9. The solicitation includes language like becoming globally competitive within 10 years in the technologies of the future, modernization of United States manufacturing, improving commercialization and domestic production of innovative research, advancing capacities to commercialize, deploy, and manufacture technologies, and becoming globally competitive in the proposed key technology focus area within the next decade. I want to note that basic research or technology readiness level 1 is out of scope for both of these programs. These technology readiness levels are categorized and described by the U.S. Government Accountability Office in this 150-page guide, which is linked in the EDA Tech Hub solicitation. It's long, but there's a lot of good information in here for applicants, and I really encourage anybody that's applying to the Tech Hubs program to read through this document. As a reminder, program officers are in communication with each other across these agencies. That is obvious. Applicants really need to provide clear supporting evidence for the claims of technology readiness levels in their proposals. Regions should be thinking about developing strategies to address all of these various CHIPS funding opportunities in the context of the state and national R&D landscapes. Some guiding questions to help regions do that are, What are some key focus areas that would make an economic impact in your region with a little federal investment? What collaborators are needed in order for that to succeed? Who needs to be at the table? And finally, what are the short-term and long-term outcomes? What is a reasonable timescale? These solicitations talk a lot about timescale, and proposals should address that. Thanks for watching. To learn more about SURGE and other CHIPS funding opportunities, please visit surgearkansas.org.